Everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm kind of feeling this video this morning, so I'm just going to get it off my chest because this is the way I'm feeling today. So I'm best just expressing it and getting it out. So I'm going to talk about how I don't like being around people. Now, I don't always feel this way, but for some reason I'm feeling it today. So I'm just going to express it and put it in the video and get it out of my system. So I find that the energy is so off, as people approach me. And today I've been feeling it more so than what I normally would. When people are approaching me, it's like I've got this inner sort of GPS that's saying, please don't come over here. I just want to be left in peace. And it's not that anything has happened. I think people have this sort of idea that when you are on a spiritual path that everything's all happiness and love and light, but that's not the truth. You still got to deal with the world the way it is, and in some ways it can be much more difficult because you're not interested in the same things that most people are interested in anymore, because your awareness level has risen, and that in a sense can make things even more difficult than before. You were just sort of trudging along with everybody. If people tell you that you're going to live in bliss, that's a load of rubbish. You've still got to face a lot of challenges when you're on a spiritual path and navigate these things, because in a way you do become more isolated, more separated from the world and from people, because you're looking at them in a very different way than what you did before. You're looking at the world in a different way. Everything shifts and changes, and I find that more and more I just want to be in nature, in that stillness, listening to the wind and watching the birds and the flowers and getting that sense of peace. I don't really want to be around a lot of people. I just see it like it's like a conveyor belt of the same thing going around and around, going by me on the streets, where people are so caught up in, what they're buying, they're shopping or driving their cars or whatever they're doing, I just feel that sense of separation a lot. Now, as I said, the majority of the time I can navigate it pretty well, but today I'm kind of feeling it, so that's why I'm going to talk about it. Just so that other people can understand that if it happens to you, it is quite normal. You do go through periods of this on a spiritual journey, because your values and your opinions and your beliefs are all shifting and changing. And it's not a sort of one size fits all thing that happens. And it's very rare that you meet anyone different, because when people sort of awaken, it's usually done in very small groups, small amounts of people at a time. It's not big shifts. So if you're on that sort of journey, the majority of the people around you will still very much be stuck in their old mindsets and their old materiality world of what they're buying or what they're getting or their desires or their needs. They'll be thinking in a very different way from you. They'll be walking around with their heads stuck in their phones or in a sort of a zombie-like state sometimes. You might find that every conversation is just the same, And it's not that I'm placing judgment, I understand it perfectly well. It's just it becomes very boring and uninteresting to you, you know, because you're just not interested in those things anymore. But unfortunately, the majority of the people still are. So it can be very difficult to navigate that at sometimes. And I think for some reason today I'm feeling that, but I have felt it before. It's just one of those things I've got to push through. Because what's happening is you have to learn to deal with the world and people in a whole new way. It's a very different way than what maybe you previously had. And it can be challenging when you're going through that process. And it doesn't, as I said, happen overnight. It can happen over stages. And even if you've been awake for a very long time, like I have, it still can come back, you know, as you grow and learn through the process. What I find is that more and more, my peace and my solitude is more important to me than anything else. And at this period that I'm going through at the moment, I'm feeling a need to isolate myself because I feel like I'm going through another sort of growth process, which I wasn't expecting, but that's what happens. That's the way it goes. So I'm going through another learning period at the moment. Some more things are sifting out of me, and it's nice to be able to share that, share those challenges, because it's not all rainbows and butterflies like a lot of people, you know, try to tell you that it is. You can have some very tough days trying to navigate your way through the process. And at the moment, I think for me, this latest growth period that I'm going through is to do with me going on a new path. I'm not quite sure what path I'm going on to. Um, I've had several new paths in my life, but this one seems to be quite a big, powerful one. Um, so I'm just going to go on it. I'm just going to follow it, even though I don't sort of necessarily know where it's going to lead to and where I'm going to go. But I'm just going to trust in it. And I think that's why I'm feeling it today, because when there's a lot of unknowns, you do tend to try to resist. And I think that's what's happening to me today is I'm resisting a little. So that's why I'm feeling it. But making the video will help me release that and help me gain a better understanding. And hopefully if anybody else is going through that, it will help them. So until next time, take care.